Let's talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League and what feels like a bloodbath. It feels like this is what I'm talking about, the cult, the Zack Snyder cultists, because
I know what we're talking about.
That's what we're talking about here today, guys, because it's a wild ride when we start talking about these people and their antics.
Because of Will Smith.
And it is, well, no, today's because of Will Smith, but let's not downplay the harassment, the toxicity, the bigotry, the misogyny, the destructive behaviors that these people tend to espouse, because they do it quite a bit. They do it pretty often. And we know this. It's not uncommon to see. However, in this particular regard, we are going to be talking about Robert Pattinson because they tried and failed to cancel Robert Pattinson today.
Mm-hmm. Well, they also tried. Well, they are in the process of canceling Zoe Kravitz.
Well, we'll talk about that too. We'll talk about that as well. So, Robert Pattinson is the Batman. And I don't think that's going to change. I'm sorry, guys. I know people out there have been trying to argue that it's a fine. Have you seen, real quick, have you guys seen how many Snyder cultists have been trying to claim that the Batman is a financial disaster, that it's an absolute box office failure, that it's, this is an actual belief structure going on right now. And I've even noticed it pop up a little bit over on geekocitymag.com, Mikey Sutton's website. He's running around trying to say that this movie was a failure, and all the people, you know, involved in that whole camp, they're trying to push out this belief that the movie has not made money. It's made 3 times its production budget that we know of. And it's still got a couple more weeks until it gets to HBO Max, you know, but how many people are going to buy it on 4K? How many people are going to buy the home video of it? A lot. Even being on HBO Max, people are still going to buy the movie.
There's still people that buy physical.
DVDs still outsell Blu-rays in 4K. By 2 out of 3, a 2 out of 3 margin. DVDs sell more, by the way. Yeah, I'm not making that up either. So the thing kicked off today. It did. This is where it kind of started. Zoe Kravitz decided that she wanted to weigh in on the controversy surrounding Will Smith, and she said here on Instagram, "Here is a picture of my dress at the party after the Oscars, where apparently one's screaming profanities and insulting people on stage now. Or where we are apparently screaming profanities and assaulting people on stage now." And this triggered so many fucking people. But this is the thing, though. It triggered people with an agenda.
Well, people are mad at her again, this is a very because I have to bring race into the equation. There's been a lot of conversation about lighter skinned black actresses versus darker skinned black actresses and a bunch of other stuff too. But people were really going at Zoe Kravitz because, again, she chose to call what Will Smith did assault, which I know you have your feelings on that, Turbo. So I assume you don't disagree with her statement.
I absolutely do not disagree with her. It was assault. There's no other
definition. Come into play with that though.
The race comes into play because people have been saying that Zoe Kravitz is more privileged as an actress because she has lighter skin compared to darker skinned black actresses.
I mean, that's partially true.
There's also been talks about people, what's it called? There's been talks from people who have tried also arguing that it's a race issue because of Jada Pinkett Smith talking about black women's hair, even though alopecia does not only impact black women, it impacts a number of women. So, they've been trying to, again, everyone out there has been trying.
Well, now everyone's been digging into
hold on. So the thing, because I don't want to derail too much, so I'll just make it quick. But the thing about black women's hair is because of how black women's natural hair was always mocked and ridiculed because of their natural hair. That's why black women would do weaves and get their hair straightened or relaxed to make them appear to have more acceptable hairstyles. And that's where I could say that argument, I get what you're saying, alopecia doesn't discriminate, but when it comes to the talk about black women hair, it's hard to maintain as far as if you want it to look nice. Because the natural look isn't something that a lot of people I think it's getting better now with the natural black woman hair, but for a while it was a problem.
Yeah, no. That's absolutely true. That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
But the idea, though, I think ultimately is that people have been trying to make that claim.
But again, it's the fact that
we're dealing with stupid people. So I mean,
one of
people
the
don't.
problems that people are responding to a difference of opinion about the Will Smith thing in the case of both Jim Carrey and Zoe Kravitz to the fact of we need to dig into their past and try to cancel them and dig up their dirty laundry.
Yeah, even though because people are like to say
flimsy though. That's the thing, it's flimsy.
And the thing is
that's
about
what
the
culture
Zoe
is. That's
thing.
the culture. The culture is if we don't like something you say, let's look up things that make you look bad because you said something about somebody we like, so let's see what's in your closet. That's what
let's look at really deep, really so deep that it's like some weird site that has some weird. If you click on the sites linked to the interview of
that they don't even look like their real website.
It links it to some like JC Penney or something. It's like what the heck? So it's like
the flimsiest of websites that really should not be taken with any line of credibility. Yeah,
but I think the Zoe Kravitz one and there's a video of Zoe Kravitz, I believe.
Well, we'll get to that here in a second. So this is where it kind of popped up today. People were trying to go after her. So this went super mega ultra viral, like 10,000 retweets. This person here, Biracial's Out, brings up a quote from an old interview with Zoe from 2013, by the way. And there's just says here, Zoe Kravitz is a predator. Yeah, almost a decade ago. And says here that even more awesome for Zoe was spending time with the Smith clan while the cameras weren't rolling. There were moments when I was hanging out with Jaden and thinking, I can't believe you're 14. I have to check myself, like what I say to you. She laughs. He has so much personality, so much swag. He's so much cooler than I am. He's also so handsome. I was always like, when you're older, we'll hang out. Nope, that's inappropriate. You're 14. And people have been trying to argue that that's a predator, that she was grooming him.
Well, they've also been saying that the reason that she's mad at Will Smith is because the Smith family wouldn't let her sleep with Jaden.
Oh my God. I mean, that is like, and that is such a reach considering the fact that does no one remember the accusations that like Willow Smith, when she was like 13, was like hanging out with some guy in her room and he was shirtless and like they were sitting on her bed. Like the whole point, like that was a controversy from like back when like the I whipped my hair back and forth, like after that came out, when she was still like 13, 12, 13, 14, she was so young. That came out back then. People had a problem with that. The Smiths clearly have an open lifestyle. All right. They clearly have an open lifestyle. That is not unknown at this point. I'm not saying bad things happen, but they have a much more open or bohemian lifestyle. And that's lost on a lot of people. Like, you guys know the actress Andy McDowell?
That name sounds very familiar.
She's been around for a long time. When a long time ago, she was being interviewed, I want to say by Rosie O'Donnell. And she talked about how at her home, clothing is optional. And like all the time, clothing is optional. She'll get up in the morning, she'll walk down, she'll make breakfast completely nude in front of her kids. It's not a sexual thing, but that's how they live their life. Bohemian. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's a weird thing. I don't really like that myself, but it's like, that's how they describe it. So it's like Hollywood people are different. We know this, but again, because these things get presented in the snippets that they do, it ends up getting taken out of context, or it gets end up twisted into the most worst thing it possibly can. Anthony here does make a great point, saying the internet really has made people dumb, which is very true. But this is the clip in question that people are using to go after Zoe Quinn. Sorry, Zoe Kravitz.
Phenomenon. I'm still kind of finding out what it's like, but I'm honored. It's really nice seeing all these people be really passionate. Jaden, sorry.
There you are. Great. Perfect.
You made
I've been looking for you for the past forever.
I dragged him out tonight.
Oh my gosh.
Literally dragged you? This is my date.
Oh my gosh. I've been looking for you for 45 minutes
don't
casually.
Leave. I want to. Hey, just don't
okay,
leave.
yes.
Don't leave.
Hang
on. Tell him how amazing she looks. Tell me how.
You look like something that you would find in like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
That's
like,
right.
wow.
Keep him around. Don't leave. Sorry, that's like my love of my life.
What did he say you look like?
Willy Wonka is something in Willy Wonka. That's what like a 16-year-old says to you as a compliment. It's great.
Bruh.
What was I saying? I don't
He's your date for tonight?
Yes, I dragged him out. I texted him and I said, you have to come. So he did.
Nah, bro.
Do you not know how like typically these things operate? Like, again, it's
like it's one thing like this gave me creep vibes. I hate to say it, but this right here gave me like really weird
This
vibes.
just gave me
so-
someone who's like, it's because again, like you have to realize that like there's people who say love their life and they mean it in a playful way.
No, I'm sorry. No, because like if this was a dude, the standards, the it would be different. And I'm gonna just say it, the
No.
double standard. But no, I'm saying like her comment about like Jaden being a handsome man, right? Like it's okay. I don't think there's a problem with being like, you know, hey, this 14-year-old, you're a very handsome young man, and you know you're gonna grow up and be, you know, a even more handsome man. I think that's like a normal like thing. Like it's not like creepy to be like, oh, this is, you know, he's 14, he's growing into be a handsome young man. Like that's not creepy. It's different with what we just saw though, because I'm sorry, that was very uncomfortable to watch. Like
I don't understand what about that was uncomfortable to watch though.
because
That's the
it's
whole
like,
thing.
bro, number one, she's like, I texted him.
And?
You know, I
Okay.
texted him to come out. Bro,
And?
she's an adult.
And it's LA. They're going out to an
Nah,
event.
I don't
They're
care
at
if it's
they're
LA.
Yeah,
they're
they're
Nah.
at the
Nah,
premiere.
it's weird.
they're
It's
at a
weird.
premiere. They're at a
If it would be-
premiere.
Did you see how she was rubbing on him? Go back. Please play this back. Like
It's-
no, play back. Play back.
Yeah, rubbing the chest.
Like she was
and then
rubbing
pat.
up on him. Like that's
Right
not what
right
you do
there.
to
She's tapping his chest.
you don't do that to a 16. That's
That's-
weird. I don't like it.
Wait, how old is Jaden?
16.
He's
He's
16
16
here.
right here.
Okay, he's 16 in this clip.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
It just I don't
Okay.
know.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you had a point.
I don't like it.
Oh,
It
me
made
too.
me
I was
uncomfortable.
like,
No, sorry.
I
I
know,
just
you're
I,
like,
I came
he's
I came back from a
16
pee
here.
break. I didn't see the clip. I'm just asking for context.
I
Oh,
don't know.
okay.
It's, I mean, again, I personally, if y'all don't think, I personally think it made me uncomfortable.
Well, she's sitting there. She goes like, "Oh, I texted him to come out. Oh, don't leave before we hang out." So it's not like a date. They're saying, "Oh, it's your date." It's
But she keeps
date
saying,
doesn't
like,
mean
no-
much. Like date is just again, it's like a friendly term in this particular situation. They're at a
Isn't she in a
party.
relationship
They're at a
right now,
premiere.
though?
I think it's
Well, this
isn't-
is not recent though. This is from a
Okay.
couple years ago.
But here's the thing: when Drake had a similar relationship with Millie Bobby Brown, and everyone freaked the fuck out. So it's like,
no, what are you talking about?
I made a video about it. He had, dude, no.
Drake and
Millie
Millie
Bobby-
Bobby Brown? What don't you mean
Bro,
Henry
what-
Cavill and Millie Bobby Brown?
Millie Bobby Brown. Like,
Wait, that's a new one, but don't even get on that one right now.
Yeah, no,
I-
I'm not gonna
Yeah,
talk
we don't
about
have
that
time,
because I
yeah,
can't.
nah.
I think,
nah.
look, Saggy, I'm telling. Here's the thing. Here's something I want you to just kind of look at. Do you think though that it's entirely possible that through the lens of which you are looking at this is altered in any way by a preconceived notion, or that you were in the process of trying to find something that makes you think that?
No, when I first heard about the Zoe's comments about Jaden, I mean we talked about it, right? I told you how I felt about it, but like seeing this, it did make me a little like it's like
What if okay?
it's like he's 16,
would you
bro.
be different? Would you be different if it was like her cousin or her brother?
No, what?
I think what Caden's trying to
because-
ask is if this was a family member, would you still feel the same way?
No, because it's a family member.
That's basically Zoe and the Smith family is.
But they're not
family.
biological blood, and it's just.
But do you not have feelings of affection towards your friends?
Okay, but here's so when I have friends who have kids that I'm basically considered part of their family. I'm not all up on their like 16-year-old like.
Well,
Maybe-
she like so. Wait, just for clarification again, was she just patting him on the chest, or was she like kind of like?
Yeah. Like look,
I don't know. It's just
she's just
Juice is patting.
look at that. Sorry. Right. It's just like, okay. Comes up.
And
he
then
gives
she's
her a
like, "Do a
hug.
twirl. How good does she look? That's your date."
It's extra. It's extra, Saggy. This is what they
that's
do.
extra. That's extra.
I don't
That's what
know.
they do.
TV.
This is the thing with people who don't understand Hollywood. They don't
Bro,
understand
here's
this.
hold on. Here's the
I'm-
difference, though. It's not like I'm sitting here trying to cancel over. I just said it's weird. Y'all make it seem like
Nah,
I'm trying to cancel or call
no,
a predator. I just said it was
Cancel
weird.
Saggy. Cancel
I just said it was
Saggy.
weird. Y'all
You're-
need to calm your nutsacks down. I can think it's weird. But
Yeah.
like, I'm
Well,
not
Music
saying
Manager
it's
says
weird.
there's nothing here. Nyla says Saggy is funny about this stuff. And that look, and there's nothing wrong
I'm
being
funny
funny
when
about
it
that.
comes
Like
to minors. I'm funny when it comes to minors because, like, for me,
What
I-
Hero Jerusalem
like,
said is
I'm
comments
very-
to do
I'm
playtime
very
dates at Hollywood
protective
events.
of like people under the age because there are unfortunately some creeps out there. So it's like I go extra above and beyond. Like I don't I don't, if they're, I'm talking, so for example, if I'm talking about a story about people and their kids and they like, even if they show their kids, I still block out the kids' pictures. Like, I'm very weird when it comes to kids. And I'm very like, I think there are some boundaries that need to be set with adult and kid and kid relationships. So, I mean, I'm not saying she needs to be canceled. Is it weird for me? A little bit, but I'm not saying cancel her. I think she's a predator. I just think it just, again, boundaries with minors. That's all. Boundaries with minors is probably the best thing. And if y'all are gonna be mad at me for thinking that's Saggy's crazy, is because Saggy doesn't like want to be all up on a kid that's not my blood relative like that. Like, I don't know. It's just I'm weird like that, but I don't. It feels uncomfortable for me. Sorry.
Yeah. No. I understand. I understand that. So there is definitely that there. Hold on. Matt here says, if that was a 26-year-old guy calling a 6-year-old girl and told her to come down to the premiere and say some stuff like, "Oh, she's my date," people would drag him.
That's what I'm saying.
I think to an extent, I think if they didn't have a clear defined role, oftentimes people who when you work with people, they were stars. They were co-stars in After Earth, which came out a couple years before this clip. When you work with people on a set, you spend 10 to 14, 16 hours a day, if not more, with those people every day, 6 days a week, roughly, for approximately a month to 6 months. You develop friendships, you develop relationships, you develop camaraderie, you develop affection. And there's a lot of love in Hollywood because people spend a lot of time together with these particular people in these sets and these locations. Like, you get to know people very well, very intimately, and that's not a sexual way.
And I get that. It's fine, but it's like still like boundaries with minors. Like, I have friends who have kids who are 14, 13. They have my number. We text and we talk about Fortnite or Minecraft or games and stuff. But I always let the parent know, like, hey, just so you know, such and such texted me. We talked about Fortnite, just because that's my comfortability. That's how I protect.
Sure, and that's fine, and that's fine. Right, it's like I don't post pictures of my kids on. I don't post pictures of my kids, on purpose. I did accidentally the other day because fucking Facebook auto posted to my Instagram, which is weird, but I got to get rid of that. But yeah, no, I keep it separate from there. So why don't we keep moving on here? Because, Zoe, came out and had made the comment about Will Smith and the whole situation. And then this is where Mercury, aka the Snyderverse, the weirdest fucking dude on the planet, comes into play here, because he says "weird girl" when he quotes this bit here from Killing Cha, says, "You don't support him defending his wife," and she says, "Nope," because he wasn't defending his wife; he was defending his ego. That's what he was doing in the process of assault.
People got really mad at Zoe for saying that she didn't support him defending his wife.
Oh yeah, well that's again, like, this is really what it boils down to. But anyway. Moving on from there, the Mercury wasn't quite done. Now he starts going after Jeffrey Wright. Posts this, just a headline from this New York Times Magazine article. It says, "The way y'all forgotten how your Jim Gordon owns a literal blood diamond gold mine in Sierra Leone and is fighting those child labor allegations with his life." A blood diamond gold mine. Those two are not the same thing by any stretch of the imagination. However, Jeffrey did respond to this many years ago. 2 years ago. And someone here had said, "Hey, Jeffrey, you refer to yourself as a radical capitalist, and as others have pointed out, that you control the rights to potentially billions of dollars of natural resources of gold in Sierra Leone. Just so you know, Angela Davis is a communist." I don't know who that is. But anyway, he says, "Cool, except I don't. You're going off of falsehoods. That article is over 6 years old, and even then was filled with cynical mischaracterizations and omissions. We never owned a mine. My only involvement in Sierra Leone has been to support the same community with funding to fight COVID."
But this whole thing, we all realize this deflection from Ezra onto the people, onto.
Well, has Mercury tweeted about Ezra? Because I honestly haven't seen.
He did tweet like a funny picture, like a Flash comic book with the Flash sitting in prison.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's at this point you can tell what it is, right? You can absolutely tell that that makes more sense, because they will attack again. When I talk about defamation, attacking, harassment, bigotry, all of that stuff, they do this because they know, like, that's how they have to protect their pack, their group, their ideology, their narrative, everything. And it's only getting worse. It's only getting worse because it goes on to now attacking Robert Pattinson, with one of the most flagrant disregards of journalistic integrity, or just integrity on a human level, that I've ever seen. So he posts this here. It says, your internet boyfriend, Robert Pattinson, mind you, and then posts this whole thing that's completely taken out of context. Saying here, Jenny Lumet is a black journalist, and here's the dialogue she had with Pattinson. Saying, Rob, did you know that every time you say actor or acting, you lower your voice to a whisper? Rob says, I do. She says, yes. So quietly, it's like you're saying Negro. And he says, well, if we were acting like Negroes and we'd be fucked, we couldn't hear anything, which obviously would piss off a lot of people.
Right.
And, if that was true, but he tried presenting it as true. I mean, a lot of people, look at that, almost 1,500 quote tweets, 212 retweets, and then goes on to kind of post more of this here. And, say this is how he's trying to argue his context, right? Now,
so stupid, dude.
Didn't you say, RJ, that Famous Fix is not a reputable website?
Yes, it's not. Yeah, there was someone I follow named Mandy, I think her name was. She kind of was fact checking Mercury, saying, "No, dude, this isn't accurate. You're spreading misinformation." And his response, as you see here, was, "Oh no, I found this website. Here's the transcript. It's what it says."
Yeah. You defend your weirdo when I had the full transcript. Obviously, he's a massive idiot, because we found out through here, and this is my altered image of it, but whatever. This is from
this
Mandy.
is Mandy,
Yeah, and says here's so much misinformation. This is the real interview. It was the journalist who said this, not Robert Pattinson. And points out the fact that it was the journalist who actually, I believed, she worked for the, what's it called? The National Negro Scholarship Fund. Is that it? It's,
yes,
which
yes.
I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, the organization.
Yeah. I want to make sure I got that right.
NCAAP.
I thought that was basket. No, I don't even know, man. My acronyms are all fucked. So, but anyway,
it's the National Association of Advancement of Colored People, but they changed it because people,
did they? I don't even know that. Man, that makes sense.
They changed it to something else, but I can't remember exactly what it is. But only on, it doesn't really show what it changed it to, but people just call it NAACP now. So.
Oh, okay. Okay. So that's all right. So there's that. Let's see. H Bars here says, negro, just want to make sure I pronounce that correctly, is also just a word for the color black. My family uses it when talking Spanish. Yes.
No, it's negro.
I can't roll my R's.
I can't do it often. I used to do it like a boss.
I cannot roll my R's though. That's the reality of it. I cannot. I felt, quick aside. Number of years ago, I was emceeing a film festival in San Diego. We had an entire Spanish crew come in. I had to have them write their names down on cue cards phonetically so I could recite them properly, because I cannot roll my R's or really have much of an accent that doesn't sound like it's very stereotypical. And I was not trying to do any of that, period. So yeah, I that's one of the problems I have with speaking, is I have trouble with that. So anyway, this whole thing is again, taking totally out of context. Robert Pattinson never said it. Robert Pattinson, never said anything of the sort. It was presented to him, but that doesn't matter to people like Mercury. They don't give a shit. They don't want to ever know the truth of that. They absolutely are just, people that are just all about whatever they can argue, right? Whatever they can protect in their narrative. But here's the thing though, guys, it goes a step further.
Mm-hmm.
This popped up yesterday. So Batfleck, the Batfleck movie. Remember that GoFundMe that we were questioning?
Geralt did?
I don't know if it was Geralt. I think the Batfleck. This is from the Batfleck one. I think it might have been.
This is a separate crowdfunding thing.
Yeah. I think this might have been a separate one here. So basically, it's he says here, you accomplished wonders with us today. Discovery employees and David Zaslav himself saw them make the Batfleck movie billboard truck today, as well as Zack Snyder seeing it while we trended it on Twitter at the same time. The message has been received. They heard you. Well, I mean, sure. All right, fine. If that's how they want to play it, they can say that they heard. But they want. Here's the thing. They want to make the Batman movie, right? This is being promoted by everyone within the fandom and all this shit. Funny about that a little bit here, because here's this post put up here by Batman Fan Cam that says, ooh, and he's quoting Mercury. I'm blocked by Mercury, so I can't see anything. But what he brings up is effectively these 3 specific passages about Ben Affleck himself. Saying here that Ben Affleck allegedly grabbed Hillary Burton's breasts on TRL once. Actually, I don't think that's allegedly. I think that's actually there. I think we saw it. Representative for Affleck said he, did not respond. And, basically it's like Affleck has been accused. There's actually video of this, of him groping a woman on TRL back in the day. Then you have another bit here about a PBS series called Finding Your Roots, when it was discovered that Ben Affleck actually had ancestors who were slave owners. And the thing is, though, is that he had actually asked the producers of the show to edit that part out because he didn't want there to be that association.
What?
Now, and I kind of get that. I kind of get that because it's like, would you, if you're like, oh shit, man, like that's not who I am. I hate that about my family history. I think people would be largely like okay with it. Like,
well, it's a very sensitive issue, especially he's been so outspoken in terms of being an open liberal, in terms of being very progressive politics. It's like, he could be like very ashamed of this.
Well, there's a quote here where he says, "I felt embarrassed. The very thought left a bad taste in my mouth. I didn't want any television show about my family to include a guy who owned slaves. We deserve neither credit nor blame for our ancestors, and the degree of interest in this story suggests that we are, as a nation, still grappling with the terrible legacy of slavery." I mean, it makes a good point. Like, I think if I would be different, I'd be like, yeah, that's, like, that's not me, but that's, like people can change is kind of the idea I would go for. But then another passage here talks about an interesting situation where apparently Ben Affleck had groped a woman's butt at a Golden Globes party in 2014. Says he walked by me, cupped my butt, and pressed his finger into my crack. I guess he tried to play it like he was politely moving me out of the way, and oops, touched my butt instead of my lower back. So a lot of people, I mean, the people who have been talking about this, right? People have been asking about this kind of stuff because, like, look, this is, if we're talking about consistency, and I know RJ, you brought this up, right? We've talked about consistency and about if you're going to call out people, if you're going to make those claims, it kind of should be for everybody. Because, every time I call out these guys, they always go back to the polar bear. They always go back to the other shit. Right. And they go like, there's that one tweet I had that said why the N-word should be open for everyone. And it goes to a dead page, a blog that no longer exists, but there's no context there. And people are like trying to use that as like, oh, you think everyone should be able to say it? I'm like, well, my argument was mostly about language and taking power away from something to better society. Because I think if we remove barriers, I think it benefits us in the long run. But I've since revised that. That's a word that's a no-go. That's a word that's a no-go. But that was my argument back then. I was more libertarian back in the day. Anyway, that's my take on that. And again, I never hide this shit. It's just like, I just never hide this stuff. If you want to ask my questions or ask my opinion on it, there's that. Anyway, all right. What we got here, just because it's always fun to kind of bring this back up. Mercury himself has got a couple very choice tweets.
There's a couple really bad ones.
Look, I'm just saying, I'm just bringing it up, to say here, this is kind of how it goes. He says here, it's always the sissy gay boys with mommy issues that hide behind shade and being sassy, thinking it's a personality. Where the fuck is the Westboro Baptist Church when you need them? Oh, so he got really mad at me for a joke I made about how these guys are all idiots with daddy issues. And then here he's out there saying, this was last year, right?
Yeah.
Talking about this. I'm pretty sure this tweet has been deleted in the meantime.
Oh, it has. And people, but like his defense was like, I'm black and I'm gay and I can say this.
Yeah. Well, his defense is bullshit. But anyway,
you can't even, I don't think any black person that's in the right mind would say, let's bring back slavery to get rid of all these daddy issues that black people have. Like no black person will say that. Like, that's just like so stupid.
I think there's a lot of, I don't know, man. I think
he ain't gay. He just got caught up and he lied, bro. Shut the fuck up, Mercury. Shut the fuck up.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Look, I feel like he likes to tweet a lot of crap and then delete it and then hide behind shit. So there's not a lot about him that I believe to be fair.
More, bitch.
There we go. Thank you, Saggy.
Anytime, boo-boo.
Anyway, and then of course there's this banger of a tweet This was on the
Oh my God.
20th anniversary of 9/11 of only a few months ago. Hashtag never forget using
Those are
imagery
images from Man of Steel.
from Man of Steel.
And
Yeah.
also, not only that, was that he was also retweeting one of his other mutuals' tweets and had the hashtag never forget. And it was talking about like when they were in kindergarten and they were talking about a story that their teacher told them. And it wasn't even about 9/11. And it was just like some random story. Like it was like Goldilocks and Three Bears or something. And it's like it's so insensitive that they were doing on that day.
I don't think he's ever apologized to us either. He just ignored it.
No.
He didn't say
Yeah,
anything.
he deleted it. He deleted it, and then he absolutely ignored it. But that's kind of the whole point, though, is he doesn't have any problem going after people. He doesn't have any problem attempting to defame or to insult or attack and to send his group of cronies after them. He's got no problem with this. But if you bring up his stuff, oh no, that's off limits. That's off crazy. And here's the biggest
somebody
issue.
said that I got into with somebody in the thread too. They're like, "Are you okay with racism?" I'm like, "No, I'm just saying don't be hypocritical. Bring up this other stuff too. If you want to do a call out crusade."
Shut the fuck up, Mercury. Shut the fuck up.
There you go.
Restore the Snyderverse with abuse.
Restore the shutting the fuck up, Mercury.
Well, and that's kind of the whole thing is they're going after everybody else, trying to deflect from Ezra Miller and his consistent amount of fuck ups. That there's a pattern to this, and we already know that. We've covered it quite a bit. But this is the sad thing, guys. It's literally all over a fucking movie because the movie won 2 honorary Oscars.
Yeah.
Or not even honorary Oscars. It just won 2 awards at the Oscars. So did they even?
Well, they were fan awards.
They're fan
They're
awards.
fan awards. Yeah.
Yeah, like they're fan awards. That's it. And it's like, so how many people out there have been outright saying,
"Oh,
you know,
I have a full-on tweet," and everyone got mad at me because I screenshotted Sill's tweet saying how many. The thing is, like, people have to remember is that yeah, sure, Zack Snyder took away 2 awards, fan awards home, but who took away home real awards? Toby Emmerich. He took home 7. And and they're like saying that he's crying and he's pouting, he's barfing. And I'm like, no, he's not. He's excited because Dune, a movie he helped produce, won a bunch of fucking awards. He doesn't care about Army of the Dead or Zack Snyder's Justice League. And also, Zack Snyder's Justice League is another fan award for them too. So he doesn't really care about Army of the Dead.
Well, it's like I said, I mean, I put out a video yesterday about it where I said that flat out, it actually benefits Zack on Netflix more than it does with that. And the reason why it does that has everything to do with the fact that that it doesn't. He's not going back to Warner Brothers. You know,
and also, it's funny how like if you watch like the replay of the whole Oscars and when they played these things, no one applauded during the Oscar favorites. After No Way Home went up, and after No Way Home up, everyone stopped applauding because Cinderella and Minot, all that, and then no one applauded when Zack Snyder's Justice League Oscar cheer moment popped up. No one clapped, like it was silence.
Oh, that's what's wrong. But here is your tweet on it today.
Yeah,
you know, like I mean, you gotta love this, right? Like it's the cope. And the deflection and the bullshit and all that stuff, it's hysterical to watch. No, you're right. No, he doesn't have any Oscars. It was a fan poll, not the Academy, not an official award. It was a way to drum up viewership. And guess what, guys? It worked a little bit because they went up. They went up 56% from the previous year.
They went up a little bit.
So they were able to bait you into watching them when they had low, and then this is how they reward you with useless fan awards. I'm not, and look, good on Zack for getting that. I hope it does benefit him, but it doesn't. It's not going to give you guys what you want.
And the thing is, people in the comments were like, "Oh my God, Cope, and you're mad Zack won." I'm like, no, I'm really happy for Zack. Like, this is a good thing for him. You know, like it says that his fans are good and not good but good in the sense of like tweeting out stuff and good at that.
I think you mean to say his fans are supportive.
Yeah,
like,
fans are supportive.
Like the thing that's good about it, just to cut across you real quick, it's like if he won a legit Oscar and he was on that stage accepting an Oscar, not getting slapped by Will Smith, I think that that's a really good sign. That would be great for Zach, and that would give me like, okay, maybe he won an Oscar for this. So
Yeah,
I mean,
in his acceptance speech, he could say #restore the Snyderverse.
right, but it's like he wasn't. It wasn't.
Yeah, well, the Flicks picks in the nitpicks here says, so you're saying it doesn't matter? It doesn't matter. Doesn't. It's the whole point is the Oscars hit a record low amount of viewership in 2021. We're talking sub 10 million. And that was the lowest ever. And they needed to do something that was going to be big and going to get people to pay attention, which is why they pushed the fan moments, the cheer moment in the fan film, because they knew that they couldn't nominate a lot of movies, but they figured if they could get fans involved, you'd have these rabid fan bases come on out. And they did. You had the Camila Cabello people come on out, and you had Zack Snyder's people come on out. And those are the two groups. Those are the two groups that really did it. And you know what? Like, are they going to do this again next year? The answer probably is not, because like they, you know, I don't know. There's a lot of negative press surrounding not only the fan film or the fan favorite film and the cheer moment. There's a lot of no one's been, if you noticed, no one in the media has been supportive of it.
Okay, so if people are still wondering if this is from the LA Times, so this is the official news outlet saying this. Saying, no, it's not an actual Oscar, but it is new. So it's not an actual Oscar. So just shut up about it.
We know it's not there, but look, so I know Moon Knight is on. I know people out there want to watch it. We are winding things down. So I know everyone wants to get to it, myself included, but there has been a little interesting development, a couple things that happened. So Viewer Anon, who I like quite a bit,
there's some weird shit going on Twitter tonight.
Yeah,
out of the blue.
So really weird stuff. I accidentally just clicked off the wrong fucking thing. Hold on, let me find it again. There it is. Okay. So all right. So according to Viewer, I know, right?
Well,
anyway.
I know. I was gonna say I'm gonna.
I know. My brain kind of half shut down. So Viewer Anon randomly put this out here and says, remember how a few scoopers, including yours truly, said that Ben Affleck was definitely 100% no takesies backsies done with the Batman after the Flash. Well, Jonathan said that you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And that's interesting.
Another tweet too, though.
There is another tweet. Now, he's since deleted this tweet, by the way. Did you know that?
He deleted this one. He said that he deleted it because he got too excited and didn't pace himself and probably shared something he shouldn't have.
Yeah. So that's interesting. All right. Like, that's interesting. Now, then this is the first tweet he put out here. It says Zack Snyder's Justice League and then a picture of a Canon camera.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get the Canon part of it, to be fair.
He's saying it's canon.
Okay. That totally lost. I was because
when else interesting too. Earlier today, him and Big Screen Leak said that some major test screens were going on this week. Like a bunch of major films are going to have some big test screens coming up like in the next week. And the Flash Film News account tweeted a gif of like Ezra Miller's Flash running and smiling from Zack Snyder's Justice League. I think the Flash has had a major test screening, and we're getting information about that. It's being trickled out.
Isn't that funny that it's happening at the same time this Ezra Miller shit's going down?
Yeah.
Isn't that just a little bit on the thing right there?
It's good. It's good chiming.
It just seems a little bit too coincidental if you want my honest opinion.
I'm just saying, man, if this is true.
This is true. This is big. This is big. And I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. I've said this before. I don't think it's going to happen. I've said about Snyder coming back.
What does it mean, though? If the Snyder Cut is canon, and
if the Snyder Cut is canon, well, that's the thing. It could come back for another little bit there. Again, I don't think they're going to like. I don't know. I feel it's entirely possible something might happen. I don't know. I'm going to wait. I don't want to like prejudge anything. It is all fluid. And again, like somebody, if I'm wrong, again, I have no problem saying that I'm wrong. So I have no problem. I make hot takes all the time.